Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got former Outlaw member and former Hells Angel member, Bob and PeeWee.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure I'll find somebody. I don't care what you're going to do. Come beat me up, shoot at me, I shoot back. So I go, okay. I said, this is my big mistake, Bob. I said, all right, Mike, go get it. So he jumps on his bike, man. He's excited as man because he's wearing a wire.
Yeah.
And I don't know it. He takes off. So I wait about 20 minutes. He comes back and he says, he said it'll take him about 45 minutes to get it ready. He's got it at a storage unit. He's got to go get it. And I says, you know what? I really didn't want it anyway, and I got to get going. I don't even have time for lunch. And he says to me, no, man, wait. That's how he was. I looked at him. I said, man, dude, you're acting like a freak. See, I didn't pick up on it at all, Bob. I swear to God. Yeah. I didn't pick up on it. So I got in the truck and I left. And think about this, bro. I don't know how many times you've been in Nevada, and if you ever came across the Arizona side, when you come from Arizona to go into Nevada, you got to go over to Hoover Dam.
Right.
So because of the 9/11 bullshit, they make everybody pull to the side, man, and they tear the trucks and cars apart.
You don't want that in there?
Yeah, because if you have a bomb, bro, and you're going across the goddamn dam and it blows up, man, that's major. You know?
Well, you didn't want that thing in there if they're going to search your truck like that.
Yeah, but it could have been.
But I didn't think about it, Bob. I would have had to toss it out the window.
Yeah, man.
So I thought to myself when they were going through the truck, thank God I didn't take that thing, you know? So then when I got back home and we were in Sturgis and he walks by this young kid. This young kid's playing with his girlfriend. You know, they're grabbing each other's crotch and Mike walks by and says, hey, save some of that for me. Now, this is a high school kid, bro. A senior in high school.
Yeah.
Mike is in like his late 30s.
Yeah.
He says, hey, save some of that for me. The kid runs out. I'm standing on the porch of my shop in Sturgis, and I could see him down the alley, but I can't hear what's being said. I see the kid come out and bow up to him, stick his chest out right in Mike's face. Then he pushed Mike. And then he starts swinging on him. And he was whipping his ass. The kid was whipping Mike's ass.
Good for him.
Right. Well, way it gets better. I tell two of the prospects, go over there and pull that guy off of him.
Yeah.
So they pull him off. When they pull him off, Mike gets up and takes off running. Cops come running everywhere. Freeze, everybody get on the ground. Well, I was standing up on the deck. I wasn't getting on the ground for nobody because you couldn't get to me, you know. And I'm standing up there. There's no bullshit, Bob. He's running up the sidewalk, and a cop steps out in front of him, puts a gun in his face, and says, freeze. And I see Mike's hands go up like this, and he says something to him, and the cop lowers the gun, and Mike takes off running.
Oh, they didn't know you were watching.
No. And I turned to the Hells Angel next to me. I said, did you see that? Did you see what I just saw? And he goes, yeah. So he runs in the back door of I have an apartment above my shop. And he runs in there. He's huffing and puffing, you know, and he says, hey, brother, I got away, man. I got away. Did you see? I said, yeah, I seen you. I seen you running up the street. I seen that cop point that gun in your face. You said something. He lowered the gun, and you took off running. What'd you say to him? You ready? He says, you told me to freeze. I said, yeah, I heard him yell that, freeze. But I didn't hear what you said. He says, I told him to get, and he lowered the gun and I ran.
Yeah, right.
And I was just standing there and I said, hey, you know what, man? I got a bad feeling about you. Something's not right here, and I don't want you staying here tonight. Yeah, and he goes, I got nowhere to go. I said, I don't give a fuck. You got to get out of here. I don't want you here. So I don't know where he went, but the next day, he didn't come get his toolbox because he was a mechanic. He didn't come get his toolbox or anything. So I had to tell this kid that comes out to work, he drives a truck. I said, will you throw his toolbox in the back of your truck, bring it back to Vegas? Because now he was a member of San Fernando Valley.
Oh, he moved
So he
around
transferred.
too.
Yeah, he transferred. And there was a guy out there that was cooking at the time. He passed away from cancer, rest in peace. He was a good dude.
Yeah.
But that's why he wanted to go there to get the main source. So he moved there. And the president at that time, who's still my friend today, we're both out of the club. He calls me up and he says, "Hey, where's Mason Mike? I haven't seen that mother in over a month." And usually every 3 weeks, you got to check back into your charter.
Yeah, they pulled him.
Right. And I said, I saw him in Sturgis, but I got to tell you something when I see him privately. I'm not talking on the phone. And he goes, okay. So I see him. I think we're in Oakland. And I told him what happened, just like I just told you. He says, that mother, guess what? And I said, what? He goes, at his apartment, we went and cleaned everything out because the landlord called and said, get it out of there. One of his lamps had a listening device in it. And I said, man, you think that is an informant? And he goes, I don't know. I can't wait. We never saw him again, Bob.
Never.
The next time we saw him,
in court.
In court for the Laughlin shootout with the Mongols, he came in as a character reference against the club.
No way.
Yeah.
Now
he's in the hey, bro. Now he's in the witness protection for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And he's living free, but he still killed that broad and cut her head off. And she had 6 kids.
Wow.
But so when he was going from chapter to chapter, were people getting arrested or were they building a case? Like what? Did anyone get caught up in any?
He was building a case against all of us because I'll tell you what, when I got in a fight with the Mongols and I had to go to prison, when they interviewed me, the feds stepped in and they said, hey, we might pick you up after you're done doing your state time. I said, oh yeah, for what? Conspiracy to purchase. I said, well, good luck on that one. He put a tape recorder on, he pushed it, and there I was in the garage, bro. Yeah, go get it. Go get it.
Bitch, man.
Wow.
That's what I said, son of a bitch.
Right
I
there,
said, well,
you
hey.
know.
I said, hey, fuck it. Then do what you got to do. And they said, that's little potatoes. We want to catch you on something big.
They wanted something big. Yeah. Do you remember when you first got, not very first, but when you were getting in the club for your first year, 2 years, and you start maybe doing some business with your fellow brothers, and you always think to yourself, he's got the same patch as I got. I trust him. I trust him with everything. He can sleep in my house when my old lady's there. He can do whatever. I trust him.
Right.
And then you get into court and you start reading the disclosures of what these f***ers have been saying about you. Holy.
When is the first time you guys ever felt betrayal in the club?
I felt it many times. I don't know about Bob, but I mean, I had like 4 Hells Angels wearing wires on me, 4 full patch members.
Wow. I had a guy who was in the club steal money off me when I was a hang around. And I still kept hanging around and joined the club.
What happened, Bob? How'd he steal money from you?
Oh, we were sharing a place together. He was a guy on parole. And I was saving up to buy my first Harley, man. It was only a couple $1,000s. I had it stashed in my room and he stayed on my couch sort of thing. And he was finishing out his parole. I get home one day and he goes, oh, we were broken into. I'm like, who the f*** is going to break into an outlaw's house?
Right.
And he says, I lost a ring and I don't know if you lost anything. And of course, my cash was gone. And then
I'm sitting right in his pocket.
While and it's like it was one of those relationships. He didn't ask me for it. I would given it to him. He didn't have to take it.
Yeah, but he was a scumbag from the get-go, bro. Just like I told you that vice president mine, he was wearing a wire. He was just asking like stupid questions in the meetings, Like, Bob knows exactly what I'm talking about. When you sit and talk in those meetings, even though you don't have your phones, if you ever been raided, there's some kind of listening device somewhere in that house.
Yeah.
You don't say everything you think you could say unless you're somewhere like super private.
And we talked in sign language and all the
right.
He does, right?
And this one guy, when we got in a fight, he says, now I didn't see it, Bob, nobody saw it, but he said that he took his knife out the prospect, which was a member now, and he didn't get his patch for doing this because, like I said, I didn't see him do it. And he said he stuck one of the Mongols in the back, right? So he says. So while we're sitting there in a meeting, this kid I'm telling you about, this vice president guy, George, he stands up in the middle of the meeting, Bob, and he looks right at the guy. The guy's sitting right to his left. And you know what I'm talking about, the little tags, right? The stupid little tags they put on. Okay, I don't even want to say the name of it. So this guy thought he was going to get that. I said, well, I was the only one in the room, and I wasn't giving him nothing, you know? Mm-hmm. So I was sitting there, and I'm like, where's this going? Because, you know, I'm the president, and I'm sitting there wondering where the f- this is going. He stands up, he slams his hands down on the table, and he goes, I want to know right now, did you stab that guy or not?